Bring your hands into Ujaayi Mudra, bow your head of your practice today to a place in nature that inspires you in some way. Bring the holy place into your mind's eye, visualize it, and dedicate your practice to that place. Namaste. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so we have a new practice sheet. Namaste. So could you just sort of slide those back, pass those back? Thank you. Okay, so we are on a new practice sheet for this term, and that's sort of part of signature series. So we're doing these different series for each term. This one is, the foundation of this one is more twisting practice. It's quite simple, really. Same setup as we've had for the previous terms. The ones in little boxes, ones you can use for a practice if you want a shorter practice. The full practice, everything in it, takes about an hour and a half. The shorter practice takes about 35 minutes, 40 minutes. And then remember that you can pick a mix. You can sort of like take little bits of the practice, and you could make yourself a 10-minute practice, 15, a 30-minute practice, whatever you need. And you can remember to kind of like move around through the practice day to day. So the idea in Vinyasa Krama is that your practice doesn't last one day, but it lasts 5 to 7 days. So you can focus on one part of the practice more on one day, another part on another day, inversions more on another day, forward bends and twists another day. You can work on it like that. So it's adaptable to the individual and to give you a wide range of postures over a period of days. So you don't have to rush to get everything in one practice. You can just really take your time with it, be thorough. And then, so I didn't put a key on this one because it's on all the other sheets. If you're new to the class and you haven't got the sheets from the previous terms, just ask me and I'll give them to you. But the little dots are drishtis and mamas. So when they're outside the body, it generally means the eyes are open. And when they're inside the torso, it generally means, or the head, it means the eyes are closed and you're gazing inwardly with the eyes closed. And then everything else is pretty self-explanatory, I think. You can always come to me with questions, but we'll be working on this sequence only for the next 5 weeks, 5 left, for the next 5 weeks. So by the end of it, you'll know what's going on. And we've got the Kapalabhati at the end, 3 rounds with Hasta Vinyasas, which we're working on. And then we have a new Pranayama, which will be new to many of you, Ujaayi Pratiloma. Yeah. Any questions? Good. So we continue with the life story of our teacher, T.Krishnamacharya. You hot? Are you warm enough? Is everybody warm enough? Yeah. Can you turn that infrared off, please, Justine? Yeah, thank you. So last week I gave a bit of synopsis of the life story of Krishnamacharya. From last term, we got up to the place where everything's changed in his life. We've had Indian independence, and everything has changed politically and socially in India. And in Mysore, where Krishnamacharya was living, he was the yogi to the king and to the royal family. He had his own yogashala in the Jagamohan, which was part of the king's palace. And he had lots of students and everything was going really well for him. Indian independence come, his benefactor, Krishnamacharya Wadiyar, dies, who was the king, and his son takes over, is not really interested in yoga, and a lot of the funding is withdrawn from the Maharajas, and it becomes more sort of like politicized, and so he loses his income, and everything disappears for him. He loses his shala, he loses his students, he has nowhere to teach. And the king was also sending them all over India with little groups of students to do demonstrations, to disseminate the knowledge of yoga. Because and that's all gone. So he now no longer has any funding, and he's really poor and doesn't really know what to do next. So first he moves to Madras, which is now called Chennai. So he moves to Madras because he's invited there by a kind of a businessman, a sort of industrialist who knows of Krishnamacharya, who has had a stroke. And he invites Krishnamacharya to Madras to treat him with Ayurveda and yoga and pranayama, which Krishnamacharya does very successfully. And then what happens is he starts his life in Mysore. This is what happens. I'll read a bit and then I'll tell you some stuff. I will do when I find the right page. Okay. By the time the Yogashala had closed forever, Krishnamacharya had 5 young children to provide for and no steady income. How would they eat? How would they continue going to school? The Gurukula system had died out. Schooling was not free anymore. And Krishnamacharya had to pay rent on a home for his family. All of these expenses would have been taken care of in some way or other, would have to be taken care of in some way or other, now that the income from the Yogashala in the Jagamohan Palace was gone. I remember my grandmother saying that there were many days when Krishnamacharya ate very little or even nothing at all, so that his children would not go hungry. Life was becoming more of a struggle for the family with each passing day, but Krishnamacharya still had his devoted wife Naragiriyama and his teacher's blessings, and neither had let him down so far. He was not discouraged by the thought of the challenges that lay ahead. So he's not a young man anymore at this point. He's in his 60s and is now in this situation. So his wife Naragiriyama, when he was working at the palace for the king, one of the things she'd been doing was saving money, putting money in a jar or whatever. And so hiding under the floorboards. I don't know what she was doing, but she had been saving money because it was a very, prominent position that he had there. And so what they do, she has this money and they live initially on this money until Krishnamacharya starts to generate some income again. What he does is he rents a 1-room apartment in Madras, but his family is still living somewhere some of them I think are in Bangalore and some of them are still in Mysore. In this tiny 1-room lodging, Krishnamacharya practiced his daily rituals, his puja, did his yoga practice, treated patients, cooked, ate and slept. When it was not possible to see a student in his apartment, Krishnamacharya would walk to the student's home. People in the neighborhood were amazed to see this man in his late 60s walk so fast and cover such huge distances nearly every day. Okay, so what happens next is that he gets a job. So we know that he's a great pandit, a great scholar, and he's offered a job at the local Vivekananda college, teaching yoga and he's offered the job as a yoga professor. So he's teaching asana, pranayama, and philosophy to students. And this is where things start to change for him. He has a combination of this, and then he's also being introduced by the people he's treating for illnesses to other sort of seem to be quite a few lawyers and sort of industrialists and business people that he's beginning to treat. So he's beginning to develop a circle of patients, and also he's teaching yoga again. And this is how things start to happen for him in Madras. And this is going really well. His classes and everything, as you could expect, they're really, really popular. Lots of people start to come. So he's able to get a larger apartment, and then he brings all his family from Mysore, and they're back together again. They're living together in Madras. And so kind of like life begins again in his late 60s for Krishnamacharya. He starts a different trajectory in his teaching. And this is what happens from now on. I just want to read one little part for you. I don't know if you can see that, but this is actually in Madras. There's a very nice little picture there. Krishnamacharya teaching a young student. I'll read this and then it will make sense. So the only person who's not living at the moment with Krishnamacharya is his oldest son, Desikachar, who wrote that incredibly famous book called The Heart of Yoga. Some of you know that. And he became a yoga teacher, but he's visiting Madras to see his family, and this is what happens. The year was probably 1961, and Desikachar was home visiting his family. It was early in the morning, and he was reading the newspaper on the veranda. Desikachar was an engineer by education and had just been offered a job in North India. He was traveling through Chennai, Madras, on his way to his new job. Suddenly, a huge car pulled up in front of their humble home. In those days, it was rare to see a car in Chennai. Anyone been to Chennai? Traffic everywhere. It was rare to see a car in Chennai. So when, in the 60s, wow, rare to see a car in Chennai. So when a very large one pulls up in front of your house, it's a shock. Even more of a shock was the Western-looking woman in her 50s who jumped out of the car and ran towards the house, shouting, "Professor Krishnamacharya, Professor Krishnamacharya." Desikachar wanted to get up and ask the lady who she was and explain that she had the wrong house. Before he could act, however, Krishnamacharya walked out to receive the dignified-looking lady. The lady hugged Krishnamacharya and exclaimed, "Thank you, Professor, thank you so very much." Krishnamacharya led her into the house, welcoming her warmly. A perplexed and shocked Desikachar was left standing alone on the veranda. It is still uncommon in India to see men and women touch each other affectionately in public. This is true even for couples. Of course, the younger generation is changing this a bit, but in the 1960s, it was unheard of to see a man and a woman embrace in public. That is why Desikachar was so shocked. He had just seen a Western woman hug his very conservative, priestly caste Brahmin father. After Krishnamacharya had bid farewell to the woman at the gate of their house, Desikachar asked him with a puzzled look on his face, "Who was that? And why was she hugging you?" Krishnamacharya told him that the woman was a New Zealander. "She is Mrs. Malvanand," he said. "She has been suffering from insomnia for 20 years. Last night was the first night she was able to go to sleep without taking sleeping pills. Overcome with great joy, she came to thank me. I have been treating her for the past few months." At that moment, something changed in Desikachar. He had heard about his father's abilities in yoga from other sources, but this was the first time he had seen the power of his father's work in action. He later recalled the incident. "I was amazed that this wealthy woman, who could afford the best Western medicine treatments, was finding a cure with my father, who was such a simple man, who knew no English or modern medicine. This is when I realized how great he was, how great the teaching of yoga was that he had to share with people. It was at this moment that I decided to completely give up my career in engineering and become his yoga student." Okay? So it's hard for us to imagine how shocking it would be to see a white woman embrace a Brahmin man in the 60s. It would still be quite shocking now. But it just, for me, it goes to show the leap that Krishnamacharya has made in order to be able to disseminate the knowledge that he so passionately wants to share to people. And it's now just people. He doesn't care who they are. If they have a desire, interest in being treated with Ayurveda and yoga or practicing yoga, he will teach them. This was the dakshina of his teacher, remember, that he was given when he was in the cave in the Himalayas, to go back to India, to marry, to have a family, and to disseminate the knowledge of yoga. And this is what he's doing, and this is why we're here. So I like that story, because Desikachar also, he would have been very shocked by this. And he was never really that keen on yoga, Desikachar. He was much more scientifically minded. He was, I think he was educated in a university in America in engineering. And then he goes back to India and he's about to start his life as an engineer. And he's just struck by, he says later, I remember him talking about it and saying that he realized that not enough people were sort of taking on this knowledge that his father had and sharing it. So he felt it was his duty to do it. And the thing about codes of conduct in India is something that we find difficult to understand in our culture now. And if you go to India now and you go to Goa and you go to the beach, none of this applies. But in more traditional society in India, and it also applies actually in the big cities in some quarters, but not everywhere. But definitely when you get out of into the sticks a bit, and when you're not in with younger, more cosmopolitan people, which there are plenty of obviously in India, but you're in a more sort of traditional society, like you might be if you're with the Swami Govindananda, or you're going to temples and all those kinds of things. There's a huge amount of etiquette that's still really important. And it's like pretty easy to upset people if you do the wrong thing. And so, I mean, even like if you go and study in a traditional ashram in India, there's no crop tops and shorts and kind of like, it's like you wear T-shirts and you wear baggy pants and you all look the same and you're all dirty. It's like not about looking great on your yoga mat, None of the clothes fit. They give you a uniform and usually they're all kind of like the wrong size. After a week, they're all gray because you can't wash them properly. And it doesn't matter whether you turned up in Gucci. Is that what you said? Is it just handbags or is that clothes as well? I don't know. No. It's like if you turned up in something really posh, or whether you turned up and you were a fisherman from the coast and you don't even have shoes, it becomes irrelevant. This is one of the things I like about that in ashrams, that everybody's the same. And there's kind of a lot of this, in India, you don't see people doing public shows of affection, usually. So it's just the way things are there. It's very different. Okay. So that's where Krishnamacharya is now. And next week, we actually continue with the story of his Madras life. Okay, stand up. Tadasana. Tag yourselves a little bit on your mat. Chest up, chin down, Ujaayi breathing. Slight constriction, hissing sound in the back of your throat. Gaze down gently into your heart space, Hridaya. Eyes open or closed. Take a few moments to connect to that breath. Hasta Vinyasas. Inhale, arms widen over your head, flip your palms. Begin the exhale, lower the arms on the breath. Inhale, arms widen overhead. Exhale, lower the arms on the breath. Parsvabangi, side stretch. Inhale, arms over the head, flip the palms. Exhale to the left. Keep the inseam of the left foot down. Look straight ahead. Inhale, center, chin down, lift up. Exhale to the left. No, hang on, everybody's doing something different. Okay, come back to center. We're not doing the twist yet. We're just doing the side stretch, plain side stretch. So everybody just come back to center. Twist is the next one. So we just go to the left now. Exhale, go to the left and keep the body flat. Hips go out, top shoulder goes back, push into the hands. Inhale, center, chin down. Exhale, change sides. Keep the body flat. Inhale there, stay. Long exhale. Pause at the end of the breath. Inhale, center, chin down, lift. Exhale, change. Short inhale. Long exhale. Inhale to the center, lift up, chin down. Exhale, Tadasana. Okay, side twist. Inhale, arms over the head, flip the palms. Exhale to the right, twist to the right. Hold the breath out, arch back, look up. Inhale to the center, chin down, lift. Exhale, change. Pull the air out of the lungs. Arch back, look up. Inhale, center. Exhale, sweep the arms wide and down. Bring the hands behind you. Bring the hands into reverse prayer or hold your opposite forearm or elbow. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, turn, look over your right shoulder. Keep the inseam of the right foot pressing down. Inhale, center. Lift chest. Exhale, twist to the left. Twist on the inside of your left foot, twist. Inhale, center. And just pause for a moment. So I notice quite a lot of you, as you twist, like if you're twisting to the left, you're lifting up on the inseam of the left foot. You want to really work at keeping the inseams of both feet really grounded. And then when you twist, you want to feel that the twist starts. If I'm twisting to the right, I want to feel the twist start in the ball of the right foot. So I feel the twist first go through the legs, then go through my hips, then my lower back, middle back, upper back, up through my spine. The last thing that turns is my head. So you want to start the twist from your feet. And if you're grounding the feet well, you'll be able to feel that line of energy go all the way up through your body into the base of your skull. It isn't just sort of like twisting the upper body. It's a full body twist. Okay, inhale, lift the chest. And then from the feet, exhale, turn to the right slowly. Legs twist a bit first, hips second, lower back, middle back, upper back, shoulders, neck, head. Pause. Inhale to center, lift the chest. And then do the same thing on the other side, but not like a robot. Try and make it more smooth. Just feel the spiral flow up through your body. Inhale, center. Keep that foot grounded if you can. And exhale, change. Do it one more time. Head turns last, and the eyes just look at the furthest point of the room. Hold the breath out and pause with a little bit of Uddiyana Bandha. And then you inhale, center, round the feet, start the twist from the feet, go the other way. Long exhale. Good, that's better. Inhale, center. Exhale, don't move. Inhale, arms wide and overhead. Flip your palms. Good. Exhale, Tadasana. Take a breath. Eyes closed, look hard. Uttanasana Vinyasas. Inhale, arms wide and overhead. Flip your palms. Chin down on your chest, look into your navel. As you exhale, just move your hips back, 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 back. Make a number 7, fold halfway. If it's too much for your back, bring a prayer over your heart. And then inhale, come up by pushing the hips back, sucking the tummy in, lift up, arch back a little bit at the top. And exhale again, fold halfway. Push the hips back, back, back. Stay. Inhale, arms wide like wings. Exhale, arms forward, flip your palms, stay. Inhale, arms wide like wings. Exhale, arms forward, flip the palms. Inhale, stand up, arch back a little bit at the top. Exhale, fold all the way down, Uttanasana. Fingertips on the floor. Inhale, look up, lengthen your spine. Exhale, round the back, fold into the legs. Pull the air out of the lungs. Back and back up, pause. External retention. Flip the palms, arms by the ears, strong arms and legs. Inhale all the way up. Arch back at the top. Exhale, Tadasana. Uttanasana, revolved forward bend. Inhale, arms over the head, flip your palms. And then exhale, turn to the right. And fold all the way down outside the right leg. If you can, push the palms to the hands to the floor, outside the foot. Or just bring the hands down, keep them interlocked. Relax your neck. And then inhale, keep facing the side, stretch out to the side and come up. Keep twisted that way. And exhale, go down again over the same leg, second vinyasa. Try the same thing. Try to keep both feet grounded. Doesn't matter how far you go down. And then inhale, come up. Keep facing over the right leg. And exhale, go down. And you're going to hold that for one full breath now. Short inhale. Relax the neck. Long exhale. Hold the breath out. Bandhas. Flip the palms. Inhale all the way up. Exhale to center. Chin down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, turn to the left. Fold over the left leg. Do 2 vinyasas on the third side. Hold. Try to push the hips out to the right as you fold. Do the vinyasas in your own time. Third time you go down, you're going to hold for a full breath. Short inhale, long exhale, pause at the end of the breath. And try to keep that equal pressure through the inseams of the feet. So don't go down so far that you lose the feet. Foundation's most important thing. You're comfortable there, the eyes are closed, you're looking at the navel. If you need balance, you look at the tip of your nose. When you're done, inhale, come up. Turn to the center and exhale, Tadasana. And inhale, arms widen over the head, flip your palms. Exhale, fold straight forward, Uttanasana. Fingertips on the floor, take the big toe or hold the legs. Inhale, look up a little bit. And exhale, fold. 3 breaths, short inhales, long exhales, optional bandhas at the end of each exhale. Ujjayi breathing. After your 3 breaths, make your way back to Tadasana. Turn to the right, stand in Tadasana. Begin with Trikonasana, triangle pose. Inhale, arms shoulder level. Exhale. End of the breath, hop or step the feet, triangle distance apart. Both feet out, about 30 degrees. Inhale. Exhale, go down over the right leg. Inhale, come up. Remember, in this variation, the hips go back a little bit. You're not trying to keep the body flat. Exhale, down over the left leg. Hips go back, weight pushed into the back foot. The body is not in a flat plane. Inhale, come up. Exhale to the right. So it's a slight, there's a forward bend involved as well. It's not just a side stretch. And then open your chest, look up at the top hand or the side wall, and breathe 3 smooth Ujjayi breaths. Try not to hyperextend your knee. Try to use control here to just keep it there better. When you're ready, inhale, come up, switch sides. So in this variation, this traditional Trikonasana, variation, there's more of a spinal twist than a side opening, because the body has to rotate up more with the hips moving back. And you're trying eventually to get the arms and the hands stacked evenly, one straight over the top of the other. When you're ready, after your 3 breaths, you come up. Exhale, bring the hands to your waist. And then Parivrtta Trikonasana, revolved. Inhale, arms widen over the head. No, that's wrong. Arms shoulder level. I'm going to put that under there so I don't tread on it. And then exhale, turn to the right. Keep the arms at shoulder level. And fold halfway over the right foot. You can turn the right foot out a little bit more, but not all the way. And inhale, come up. And we're going to stay facing that side today. And exhale, go down again halfway. Keep the arms out like wings at shoulder level. Don't go more than halfway down. Keep your spine parallel with the floor. Inhale up. You can do it with the hands on the waist as well if you don't have room. Twist over the straight leg and go down again over the right. Good. Now stay there. Inhale. And as you exhale, twist. Bring the left hand down, the right arm up. Push the weight into the back foot. Optional, look at the top hand or the side wall, or bend the top elbow and bring the hand onto the small of your back. And just breathe there. Relax. Give me your hand. Give me your hand. 3 breaths, long exhales. So you relax, you don't get tense in the pose. After your 3 breaths, you inhale, come up halfway with the arms like wings. And exhale, you can dip a little bit there. And then inhale, come all the way up. Trikonasana Sthiti, turn to face the side. Inhale. You can turn the left foot out a little bit more. What you want to do is make sure there's no tension in your knee, but don't turn it all the way. Keep it turned in a little bit. Not like in the modern version. And then turn to the right and exhale halfway. You want to push the weight into the back foot, keep the lower abdomen controlled. Inhale, come up. Keep over that leg. Exhale, go down. I'll talk about that in a minute. Inhale up, open the chest. Twist more over the leg. Exhale, go down. Hold halfway. Inhale. Exhale, rotate your spine right from the base of your spine to the base of your skull. Right hand down, left arm up, or left hand on the back. 3 breaths. So if you can bring top arm up, and you have drishti at the top hand. Keep the legs really active. Don't worry about how far down you go. Your hand can be high on the leg, but work on the twist. And then inhale halfway, arms out. They'll go out. Exhale there. Dip a little bit on the exhale. On the inhale, gracefully come up. Turn to the front. Exhale, put the hands on your waist. Inhale, don't move. Long exhale. Soften the knees. Hop or step the feet together. Inhale, turn to face front. Tadasana. I do a simplified version. Inhale, bend the right knee to the chest. You can do it, if you can hold the big toe comfortably, you can do it with the legs straight. Exhale, left hand on the waist. Inhale. Exhale, bring the knee out to the side, or the foot out, leg out to the side. And then as you exhale, turn the left shoulder. And just hold that for 3 smooth breaths. Keep the hand on the waist, left hand on the waist. And then after your 3 breaths, you inhale, bring the knee to the center. Extend the leg, gaze the quadricep, both hands to the waist. Take an exhale and an inhale. And on the next exhale, slowly lower the leg. Just so it's all done with control. Inhale, bend the left knee to the chest. Exhale, knee out, foot to the hand to the hip. I'll say foot to the inner thigh. And then optional, turn, look over the shoulder. Just take 3 breaths. Look at something that won't move. After your 3 breaths, come to center. Inhale. Hands to the waist. Exhale there. Inhale, move the hips back and lift the leg. And then on the next exhale, lower the foot. Lead and return sequence, come to the front of your mat. Inhale, arms widen over the head, flip your palms. Exhale, fold all the way. And then inhale. Exhale, Utkatasana, heels may rise back, rounds, forehead towards knees, empty the lungs. Listen carefully. Inhale, straighten the legs again. Exhale, fold into the legs, round the back, relax the neck, empty the lungs. Flip the palms, inhale all the way up, arch back at the top. Exhale all the way down, hands to the floor, shins. Inhale. Exhale, Utkatasana, squat down. All the air out of the lungs, back round. Little inhale into the back of your heart. Hold the breath, lift the heels, hop or step back, chaturanga, or knees down for half chaturanga. Keep the legs strong and the core strong. Inhale, forward, upward facing dog, chin down. Exhale, back downward facing dog, 3 breaths. We're going to breathe together. Inhale on 1, on 2, on 3. Exhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5, on 6. Inhale, back of the heart, 1, on 2, on 3. Exhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5, on 6. Pause. Tummy in, hips up. Inhale on 1, on 2, on 3. Exhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5, on 6. Hold the breath out. Lift perineum, suck lower abdomen in and up, bring chin on chest. Bandhas. Release bandhas, take a little inhale. And exhale completely. Now, if you can, hold the breath out, hop forward, squat down, Utkatasana. So as you squat down, you squeeze a little more air out of your lungs. Separate the knees, sit down, Dandasana, staff pose. Inhale, arms over the head, flip your palms. Exhale, don't move. Inhale, roll down onto your back. 1 vertebrae at a time, arms over the head. Just exhale, hands beside your body, palms down, take rest.
Hands close to the body, big toe bases touching, feet together. Hold the prana in the Sushumna, in the center line, Sushumna Nadi. Palms down, Sarah. Palms down, Claire. Hands close to the body. You want to feel like you're standing in Tadasana, but your palms are just flat on the floor as opposed to against the sides of your thighs. Everything else is like Tadasana, mountain pose. You can just breathe normally, no J sound. And then flicking your gaze, moving the eyeballs in your skull. Look big toes, 16 mamas. Heels, ankles, start again. Look big toes, ankles, knees, top of thighs, perineum, heart, throat pit, soft palate, nose tip, upper palate, third eye, crown of head. Look navel, exhale fully. And now try on one long, slow inhale to flick the gaze. Inhale, big toes, ankles, knees, top of thighs, perineum, heart, throat, soft palate, nose tip, third eye, center of forehead, crown of head. Look navel, fully exhale. So you've got to breathe in real slow. Take a normal breath in and take a long exhale. Do it again, breathe in slowly. Big toes, ankles, flick the gaze, knees, top of thighs, perineum, navel, heart, throat pit, soft palate, nose tip, third eye, center of forehead, crown of head. Your eyes are looking up out the top of your skull. Look navel, fully exhale. Okay. Inhale, arms over the head, lift your palm. Exhale, don't move. Empty your lungs. If you can, sit straight up, forward fold over the feet, hold the outsides of the feet. Good. And if you can come up however you want, if you want to push yourself up, that's fine. Bend the knees if you need to, then flip the palms. Inhale, come up, all the way down onto your back, second vinyasa. Try to roll your spine down gracefully, one vertebra at a time. Resist, 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 arms over the head, stretch. And then fully exhale. Empty the lungs, sit all the way up again. This time, hold the hands over the tops of the feet, second vinyasa. Flip the palms, inhale, come up. Roll down onto your back. So at the end of the breath, the hands should just touch the floor. Long exhale. Hold the breath out. Sit up. Take the big toes. Good. Then flip the palms. Inhale, come up. And exhale, Dandasana, hands beside the hips. So from here, you can move into, on the sequence you'll see it's Paschimottanasana, forward bend, but we're going to do Upavishta Konasana, churning. So inhale, bring the legs really wide apart. If you need to sit on a block here, if you're leaning back, if it's a job to get upright, then raise your seat on a block. The other option is to bend your knees slightly, makes it a little bit easier to move forward. But make sure the legs stay active. In order to make the legs active, you want to push out through the ball of the foot. And so the toes come back slightly back towards your head, but the ball of the foot is still forward of the heel. You don't want full flexion in the foot, so it puts the pressure into the back of the leg and the hamstring attachments. You want, if you push out through the ball of the foot more and keep toes slightly back, the ball of the foot slightly beyond the heel, it will engage the front of the back of the leg evenly and give you more stability as you move through the vinyasa. Inhale, float the arms over your head and flip your palms. Exhale, rotate to the right, fold down over the leg, and keep exhaling all the way across to the left foot. And the inhale lifts you up. Turn, exhale, fold, same way. Reach out as you go across. Try to reach out as much as you can. And then the inhale lifts you. One more time that way. Push the palms away, the fingers are interlocked. And then change sides, do 3 in the other direction. Just make it smooth and graceful and let the breath do the work. Your chin should be down, your eyes are closed, and you're looking into your navel center, Navi. Controlling the Uddiyana Bandha all the way. You're right, Beth. Okay, good. And then when you've done the 3 on that side, come back to the center. Stretch up, arch back. Exhale, fold forward. Hands to the floor or take the outsides of the feet or the big toes. And then lift your chest. Stay up a bit, Sophie. Stay up a bit. Now, when you go down, if you're really flexible, don't go down like a pancake. Keep up a bit and round your back and drop your head. And so it's more like the forehead or the top of the head would go to the floor and around your back. Push your sit bones down. And if bringing your legs a little bit closer together might help if you're really flexible. You want a rounding in your back like a tortoise shell, not a flat back. And the head is down so you can gaze at the navel. And then at the end of each exhale, which is twice the length of the inhale, you do a strong Uddiyana Bandha, which almost like rounds your lower back more. That's good, Robert, but you don't have to exaggerate. Yes, don't go mad. It's just that, get out of that flat back syndrome. So those ribs got to come up. Now fold. Keep those ribs up. Yes, that's it. There. The opposite to what everybody's told you so far. And then when you're ready, flip your palms and inhale, come up. Good. Exhale, hands behind the knees. Pick the knees up. Soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana. And you can do this whole thing, if you could, with your eyes closed. Take the feet, open the feet out like a book. Press the heels together if you can. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, bring your chin down, stay upright. Gaze down into your perineum. Inhale, look perineum, navel, heart, back throat, front throat. Hold the breath. And then exhale, look perineum. Inhale, flick the gaze, perineum, navel, heart, back throat, front throat, throat pit. Hold the awareness there. Exhale. Keep the spine straight now. And then one more time. The inhale, use the mamas, work your way up. Hold your awareness in the throat pit. Pause there. Then fully exhale. And then a normal inhale. And then exhale, just round your back. And fold forward a little bit, as much as you comfortably can. Close the eyes, look nabby, navel. Take 2 breaths. Inhale, sit up. Cross your ankles, bring the hands to the floor. Hop or step back, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Don't dip your shoulders low, that low, Sophie. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. Look forward, bend your knees, hop onto your shins. Vajrasana, hands over the knees. I'm not going to do the vinyasas today, we're running out of time, so we're just going to do the spinal twist. Go over to the left-hand side, bring the right foot to the outside of the left knee, and then rock back onto your sit bones and extend the bottom leg straight. Everybody's going to work with the bottom leg straight. So your left leg's going to be straight, your right foot's going to be to the outside. Rock back a bit so that you can do that without twisting your knee, so you can extend both. Remember we did it last week? Were any of you here last week? Do any of you remember? Good. Okay, so when we do the other side, try to remember. Okay, so also bottom leg straight today. Okay, don't pull that left foot, unless you're very flexible, don't pull it right back as far as you need to, as far as you can. If it makes your lower back round, keep it far enough forward so you can be straight. Inhale, float your arms. And exhale, twist your right. And keep twisting with the arms up, lifting, lifting, lifting. When you get to the end of the breath, then hold the breath out and take the pose. Go into the pose with the lungs empty, there's more space. And then begin the breath. Inhale on 1, on 2, on 3. Exhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5, on 6. Pause, optional banders. And then do 2 more breaths like that. Keep that same action in the straight leg as you had in the forward bend, pushing out through the ball of the foot. Keep the leg active. After your final breath, flip the hands overhead, come back to center. And exhale, Dandasana, straighten both legs. Inhale, bend the left knee to the chest. Bring the foot to the outside of the other leg. Inhale, float the arms. Full exhale as you twist. Shane, can you sit on a block? Hold the breath out and take the pose. See if you can find more space. 3 breaths. Inhale for 3, exhale for 6. Do something that's going to close that hip joint a bit. Are you okay in that hip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my arm.
Okay. Front ground the inside of that foot in. And then inhale, come to front, float the arms over the head. Exhale, both hands down, straighten both legs. Cross the ankles. Hands to the floor. Come into a handstand for 5 breaths. Chaturanga. And inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Those days are gone. And then hold for 3 breaths. Very nice. When you're ready, soften the knees, hop or step forward. Sit down, Dandasana. Mahamudra. Inhale, bend the right knee to the chest. Exhale, knee out, foot to the inner thigh. Or if you can, draw the heel back into the perineum or sit on the heel. Not lotus, hopefully. Not half lotus, Mahamudra. Heel into the perineum or sitting on the heel or foot to the inner thigh. Inhale, lift the arms up and over your head with your palms. And exhale, fold over the leg. Take the big toe with the first two fingers of your left hand. Bring the right hand, if you can, over the top of the foot with the fingers pointing towards the heel. Then sit up. The arms are straight, the back is straight, or you can just have the left hand on the leg and the right hand on top. The back is straight, the arms are straight, you're not moving forward into a forward bend. The chin goes down onto the chest. And then take a short inhale and a long exhale. The end of the exhale, pause, optional bandhas. Chin down more, Kwan. More. Yeah. Lift the chest up as you bring the chin down. Yes. Do that 2 more times. I do wonder sometimes if I didn't tell you whether you would ever breathe in again, but I'm sort of like banking on the fact that it will happen eventually. And when you've finished, it's 3 breaths. The exhale is twice the length of the inhale, pauses at the end of the breath. Flip the palms and come up. Exhale, Dandasana, change legs. If you're comfortable with the exhale retention, you can hold for up to 5 seconds, but no longer. If you're not familiar with the retention, you just pause the breath and be conscious of the space at the end of the breath. Inhale, float your arms. Exhale, fold forward, big toe or hands to shin, right hand first and left hand on top. Square the shoulders and square the chest. Lift up so your arms go taut. Lift your chest up. Keep the chest up and then just bring your chin down and your gaze into your navel. Begin the breath. Count the Om numbers. Double the exhale. It'll help you to sit on a block there. Three breaths. When you've finished, you can come up, come back to Dandasana. And when you're ready, come into Shavasana and relax. When you go down into Shavasana, just bend both knees and draw them into the chest and just restabilize the spine. And then extend your legs and come onto your back. Feet wider than your hips, arms away from your body. Let go of Ujjayi breathing. Roll your head side to side if you feel the need. Relax your forehead. temples. Relax all the muscles around your eyes. Drop the upper palate so your eyeballs sink a little bit into your skull. And you feel space in the Ajna chakra. Let go of any thoughts that rise in the mind. Completely relax. Relax the soft palate and the tongue. The whole inside of your mouth. Relax your throat. Pit of your throat and the back of your throat. Relax all the muscles around your heart. The heart just sinks a little bit into your chest. Relax your left lung. Relax your right lung. Relax both lungs. Let go of breathing. Just let your body breathe. Relax your spine and all your spinal muscles. Your hips and your pelvis. All the muscles in your legs. Your ankles and your feet. Then rest your awareness in your heart and completely relax. Oh, oh. Deep in your breath. Feet together, arms by your side. Inhale, arms over your head, give your body a good stretch, and come into a seated position for pranayama. So pranayama is always ideally at the end, but you can do Kapalabhati at the beginning as well. In the Shivananda tradition, they eventually switched it and put it the other way around. They put the pranayama at the beginning, and so the thing finished with final relaxation, which I did for many years. And then I actually found out about why they did that. And they said it was because everybody just wanted to leave after final relaxation. And so it's like much more difficult to get people to do pranayama. And their classes always ran out of time. So they weren't doing enough pranayama. And so what they did is they started putting the pranayama at the beginning. But ideally, you do the pranayama at the end because it's a system of asana, pranayama, and pratyahara and meditation is a kind of like a stream. We're going to practice the Kapalabhati again. Was everybody here last week when we did Kapalabhati? I know you, yeah, everyone else ready to go again for Kapalabhati? Yeah, remember everything? I'll talk you through it. You can try and join in if you do what you can. It's like sharp movements of the lower abdomen, but I can help you later. Let's just do a round, see what happens. First round, chin mudra, chest up, chin down. That false inhale. Deep breath in, lift the heart, lift the chest, expand the lungs. And then exhale without releasing the chest down. So you maintain the false inhale. Little shallow inhale to begin. Hex, 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 exhale completely. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale overhead, flip your palms. Lift your ribcage, lift your chest. Bring your chin down. Look to your navel. Little shallow inhale. If you need the hand on the abdomen, do it. Begin. Hex, 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 stop, hex, 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 exhale completely. Inhale, push the hands to the ceiling. Exhale, lower with control. Final round. Take an inhale, deep breath. Your hands down calmly. Exhale fully. Inhale, arms over the head with your palms. Bring the hands to the opposite shoulder blades. Move your elbows back so it really stretches your lungs. Little shallow inhale to begin. Hex, 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 exhale completely. Inhale, push your hands to the ceiling. Exhale, chin mudra. Inhale, deep breath. Exhale completely. Okay, open your eyes. So, Shane, Beth, quite convenient. You both need help. So we'll look at this together. Kwan, good. Abdomen's working, but the shoulders are working as well. Keep still. Okay, there shouldn't be any movement, only movement here. Try to really keep your awareness. If you bring your gaze right down and keep gazing right into the solar plexus, the Agni, where you're generating the fire, then if you gaze down into that point, it will help you to keep the body stiller, or everything will be centered in that region. Any questions about it before we move on? Good, so we're getting there. Right, we have 5 minutes, so I'm going to introduce the next pranayama. So we're doing Pratiloma Ujaayi, which is slightly different. All different variations, all these pranayamas on Nadi Shadana, alternate nostril breathing, which originally was the only pranayama. But as time went on and people get more and more messed up, we need kind of like different pranayamas for different things. So this is a very calming pranayama, which is like brings a lot of peace to the mind, and it's also very emotionally stabilizing. Supposed to be this pranayama. So we're going to learn this pranayama. So it's a combination of Ujjayi and Nadi Shadana, like the Pratiloma Ujjayi we were doing before, but it's just in a slightly different pattern. So this is how it works. You're going to bring both your right hand into Vishnু Mudra. You can just watch me for a second. I'm going to teach you how to do it first. And then the hands are in constant contact with the nostrils, just a lot above the bulb of the nose, not right on the tips of the nose. And I noticed some people last week were really high up. Like, I don't know how you block the nostrils, it's just bony and hard there. It's like, it's got to be just above the bulb of the nose where the nose tissue is quite fleshy. And what you can do there is you can block and release the nostrils with the minimum amount of movement. So in pranayama, the movement should be as minimal as possible. So there's not this happening. None of this stuff is going on. It's like you shouldn't even really see the hand moving unless you really look. And it's if you keep your fingers touching the flesh of the nose all the time, all you then do is just seal and release the nostrils. And you don't want to press hard, just hard enough to stop the air moving out of that nostril. Okay, so that takes a little bit of practice. And eventually you can create Ujjayi in the nostril by just sort of like by having the finger on the nostril and slightly constricting the nose. When you breathe in, the Ujjayi sound will come from the nostril itself, not from the throat. Now that is something for the more advanced, experienced practitioners here, something you can begin to play with. But for everybody else, it's just a clear, noiseless breathe through the nostril. When you're breathing through the nostrils, there's never Ujjayi sound from the throat. But when you breathe in through both nostrils, then you have Ujjayi sound from the throat. It works like this. We'll begin. The practice will start with an Ujjayi through both nostrils. Just watch. Oh, there's not a lot to see, really. You inhale through both nostrils. Little retain, and then exhale left. No sound. Then it's inhale left. Retain. Exhale Ujjayi. Inhale Ujjayi. Retain. Exhale right, no sound. Inhale right. Retain, exhale Ujjayi. So you're switching from side to side, but the inhale and the exhale both come in. So it's different to the last pranayamas we've been doing. And I'll guide you through it. Retentions and everything come later and gradually lengthening the exhale. But let's just get the pattern right. This will also be done with the mamas eventually, but let's just get the pattern to begin. Chin mudra, right hand, just above the bowl of the nostrils. Release both nostrils, inhale Ujjayi. Retain, gently close both nostrils. Exhale left, no sound. Inhale left. Retain. Exhale Ujjayi both. Inhale Ujjayi. Retain. Exhale right, no sound. Inhale right. Retain. Exhale Ujjayi both. Inhale Ujjayi. Retain. Exhale left, no sound. Inhale left. Retain. Exhale Ujjayi. Release the hands in mudra. Make a couple of breaths. Inhale deeply for Om. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivarana Ovarukamiva Bandana Richo Mushiyamamrita Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivarana Ovarukamiva Bandana Mrityo Mukshiyamamrita Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivarana Ovarukamiva Bandana Mrityo Mukshiyamamrita Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Om Buddha Sacred Bhagavan Ki Jai. Remind yourself the intention you made for your practice. Namaste. Okay, so just a couple of rounds there of the Ujjayi Pratiloma. If you're feeling how it goes, and we'll start working on that in combination with Kapalabhati. So there's different ways of doing it. Today we did the Kapalabhati and then we did the Pranayama. But the other way, which is really nice and powerful to do it, is do one round of Kapalabhati and then a couple of rounds of Pranayama, then another round of Kapalabhati, a couple of rounds of Pranayama. You alternate, and then at the end you do more Pranayama. So you probably do about 6 rounds of Pranayama if you've got the time. But combining the Kapalabhati, you can also do that with Bhastrika. You can alternate the Bhastrika and or the Bhastri like we've done before with the Pranayama. Not commonly done, but it is a great practice. Did that okay? Any questions about that Pranayama? Okay, just take a little bit because it's slightly different to remember it, but you'll soon get the hang of it, don't worry.